Dear students, in this session, let us discuss about chemical equilibrium. You know that most of the reactions which are occurring in the nature are spontaneous and irreversible by nature. However, there are certain reactions in the nature, they are reversible by nature. That means the reactants reacts to give you a product, and the product once formed can react back to give you the reactants. So as a result, the reaction will never go in for a completion. Okay, so if I wanted to tell you by a simple example, so A is a reactant which reacts with another substance B to give you the product C and D. Okay, and once C and D are formed, the reaction never goes for a completion. C and D reacts once again, and to give you A and B back. Okay, so this one is called a forward reaction, and this one is called a reverse reaction or a backward reaction. Okay, such reactions are said to be equilibrium reaction. The reaction is said to be in the state of equilibrium when both forward reaction and backward reaction takes place in the same speed. Okay, so we are going to have a discussion on the chemical equilibrium. Okay, so the chemical equilibrium can be well understood by its term called by a term called law of mass action. Okay, the law of mass. What does the law of mass action says? The law of mass action says that the rate of the chemical reaction is directly proportional to its active masses of the reacting substance. Okay, the rate of the chemical reaction is directly proportional to the active masses of the reacting substance. Say for example, this A is a reactant. Okay, it reacts with a B. So if I have A moles of A and B moles of B, C moles of C and D moles of D as a product. Okay, then rate of forward reaction is directly proportional to concentration of what are the reactants? A and B are the reactants for a forward reaction. So it is directly proportional to concentration of the active masses. The active mass is nothing but molar concentration of the reacting substance. So concentration of A and B. So this is the product of concentration of reactants. Okay, so I have A moles of A, then let me say to the power A. I have B moles of B, then I can say, let me say this as B to the power B. So the rate of forward reaction is directly proportional to product of active masses of the reactants A and B. Okay, say for example, if I have rate of backward reaction, this is directly proportional to, for the backward reaction, these are the reactants. Okay, so for backward reaction, this become reactant and this become a product. So active masses of the concentration of reactant in backward reaction becomes concentration of C, concentration of D. Okay, since I have taken C moles of reactant and D moles of reactant, I can say C to the power C and D to the power D. Okay, so if I remove this proportionality, okay, so I can write rate of the reaction, rate of F denotes forward reaction. Okay, so rate of forward reaction is equal to, okay, I can remove this proportionality and introduce a constant which is called Kf. Kf stands for a proportionality constant, or otherwise we can call it as a rate constant, okay, of a forward reaction, and take the same A of A and B of B. Similarly, if I write it for the backward reaction or B, okay, then removing this proportionality, I introduce a constant Kb, concentration of C to the power C and D to the power D. Okay. Now, at equilibrium, let me assume the equilibrium condition. Okay, so at equilibrium, both reactions, forward reaction and backward reaction, go at the same speed. So, rate of forward reaction equal to rate of backward reaction. Okay, so then this becomes Rf is equal to Rb. That means Kf concentration of A to the power A, concentration of B to the power B is equal to Kb into concentration of C to the power C, concentration of D to the power D. Okay, so now let me rearrange this equation, okay, by putting Kf by Kb. This is equal to Keq. This is called equilibrium constant. Okay, so then the equation become C to the power C and D to the power D. So this term K of A of B goes here. So A to the power A and B to the power B. Okay, so this term is called Keq is called equilibrium constant. Keq is called equilibrium constant. Okay, so this K equilibrium constant Keq can be represented in either by using concentration or mole fraction, or by a parameter called partial pressure, Pi. Okay, so you can use either. If you mention partial pressures Pi pressure, this becomes Kpi. Okay, I write. And if you use mole fraction Xi, okay, mole fraction, then this becomes K of Xi. If you use the term called concentration, molar concentration, then this term becomes equal to K of Ci. So it can be equilibrium constant can be represented either by mentioning partial pressure or molar concentration, or from its mole fraction value. Okay, so this equation will have a different numerical value depending upon the term which you refer. Okay, so this is what is meant by this is what we the exact equation or formula for equilibrium constant KEQ. Okay. Now let us go for thermodynamic formulation of law of mass action. Okay, so I would like to remind you what is law of mass action. The law of mass action is nothing but the rate of the chemical reaction is directly proportional to the product of concentration of the reactants, or the product of active masses of the reactants is called the law of mass action. Okay, the rate of the reaction is directly proportional to product of concentration of active masses. Now, how to formulate how to thermodynamically formulate the law of mass action? Okay, it is not possible to derive an equation for the law of mass action thermodynamically, but however you can represent, you can only obtain an expression for equilibrium constant. You can obtain an expression like for KEQ, you can obtain an expression using thermodynamic formulation for KEQ, but you cannot have or derive an equation for a molar, what I can say, the active masses, law of mass action. Okay, so let me now go for the derivation of equilibrium constant. So let me take the same example. A moles of A reacts with B moles of B to give you C moles of C and D moles of D. Okay. So we know that the free energy of these reactants and the product can be calculated from its chemical potential. Okay. The free energy of reactant G, free energy is nothing but the available energy of a system. Okay. Otherwise, chemical potential of a system, which actually expresses the innate ability of a particular chemical or a system. Okay. That determines the free energy, or that determines its ability to react, its ability to transfer. So free energy can be expressed. G is nothing but the free energy, which can be expressed as it consists of reactant A and a reactant B. Okay, so it consists of reactant A. You can write this as chemical potential of A and chemical potential of B. G is nothing but the product, addition of chemical potential of A and the chemical potential of B. So let me say A moles of chemical potential of A and B moles of chemical potential of B. So what is the free energy of a product? Free energy of a product is equal to, it consists of chemical potential of C plus chemical potential of D. So C moles of chemical potential of C and D moles of chemical potential of D. Okay. Now, what is the free energy change, delta G, of your reaction? Free energy is represented by the symbol G. Free energy change is represented by the symbol delta G. Okay, that is the difference between the free energy of the product minus the free energy of the reactant. So it is represented by the free energy change of a reaction. So delta G of a reaction is nothing but product. So let me, instead of C and D, I can also write it as a So no problem. Let me have it same. Huh? So let me write this. G of product is nothing but mu C of C plus D mu of D minus A mu A plus B mu B. Okay. Now let me write this. When delta G is equal to 0, when delta G is equal to 0, what does it mean? When the total free energy change is equal to 0, then the system will be said to be in a state of equilibrium. Okay? When the delta G is negative, the reaction is said to be spontaneous one. And when delta G is positive, the reaction is non-spontaneous, never take place. Okay? But when delta G is equal to 0, okay, the reaction is said to be in a state of equilibrium. So when delta G is equal to 0, I can write C mu of C plus D mu of D is equal to A mu of A plus B mu of B is equal to 0. Is equal to 0. Okay. The chemical potential of the reaction can be represented. So let me have this equation delta G equal to 0. This one. Okay. Then now let me define the chemical potential of the reaction. Okay. Chemical potential I mu I is equal to mu I0 plus RT ln mu. Mu I is equal to mu I0 plus RT ln Pi. So where Pi is the partial pressure, R is the gas constant, T is the temperature, mu I0 is the standard chemical potential. Okay. So what is standard chemical potential? When the partial pressure Pi of the system is equal to 1. Okay. Then this term becomes chemical potential of the system becomes equal to its standard chemical potential. Okay, so when this is 1 ln 1 becomes equal to 0. Okay, ln 1 becomes equal to 0. Then the entire term becomes 0. Then mu I becomes mu I0. And hence I can say this. When the partial pressure of the system is unity, reactant or product is unity, then its chemical potential becomes equal to that of its standard chemical potential. So I can write mu I as mu I0 RT ln Pa. So can I write this equation, entire equation, by using this expression? Okay. So let me write mu C. Okay. Then now C of instead of mu C, I can write mu C0 plus RT ln PC. Okay. Then let me write this plus D of mu D0 plus RT ln P of D. Okay. Then I can write this minus of A mu A0 plus RT ln PA0. Okay. Let me write this way. Okay. Then plus B of mu B0 plus RT ln PB0. Okay. Now let me separate these terms. Okay. See this C mu 0 C plus RT ln PC plus d mu d. Huh? So let me expand this. Say this. C mu 0 C plus RT ln. If I can multiply this, either R can say PC power C. Okay. Plus d mu 0 d plus RT ln PD to the power d. Okay, and minus of a mu a 0 plus RT ln PA to the power a. Okay, plus b mu b 0 plus RT ln PB to the power b. Okay, so let me segregate this to the right hand side, to the other side. This is equal to 0. Let me segregate to the right hand side. So C, this becomes, let me write this, RT ln PC to the power C plus RT ln PD to the power D, to the power D. Okay, then ln A, I can write this, if we take RT as a constant, ln A plus ln B. So this becomes ln A plus B. Ln A plus ln B becomes ln A plus B. So this becomes P D to the power D. Okay. Minus. Okay, I can bring these terms, keep these terms here. So A, I can write this. Okay, RT ln PA to the power A and RT ln PB to the power B. Okay, this is equal to, I bring it these terms to the right hand side. So this becomes minus of C mu C plus D mu D, and this goes to this minus term goes to the plus. So this becomes plus. Okay. A mu to the power A plus B mu to the power B. Okay. A mu A and B mu B. I can write this. Okay. So I can write this, or these two terms can be combined. RT, when RT ln is a common term, then I can write this, RT ln is a common, so PC to the power C plus PD to the power D all divided by PA to the power A plus PB to the power, PB to the power B. So I can write this, ln A minus D becomes ln A by B. Okay, so now this equation, the other side turns to be C mu C is nothing but the free energy of a product. Free energy of a product, which is already known. So G of reactant. Okay, if I multiply this, so this term becomes a negative one. So this becomes delta G. G of product minus G of reactant become delta G. Okay, or delta G 0. Okay, so I can write this this constant Pc to the power c and Pd to the power d can be written as is a constant. Okay, so Pc to the power c plus Pd to the power d whole divided by Pa to the power a plus Pp to the power b is a constant. Okay, I can write this as Kp. I can write this as a Kp. Okay, so this equation, entire equation become RT ln Kp. RT ln Kp is equal to minus term is taken outside, so I can write this is equal to minus delta G0. Okay, so let me write this. What is ln Kp? Ln Kp in this equation equal to minus delta G0 by RT. Okay, then what is Kp? Kp of a reaction is equal to e power minus delta G0 by RT. Kp is equal to e power delta G by RT. So this equation Kp is equal to e power delta G0 by RT is known as want half isotherm. This is called a want half isotherm. Okay, and this want half isotherm can be expressed if you wanted to express it in terms of partial pressure, it is Kp. Okay, if you want to express in terms of K, in terms of mole fraction X, it is Kxi. If you want to express in terms of concentration Ci, it is Kci. If you want to express in terms of chemical potential, it is Kμi. Okay, so it can be in any form. Okay, in terms of mole fraction, concentration, or in terms of a chemical potential. So let me explain you one more equation called a want half equation, which is nothing but the temperature dependence of equilibrium constant. Okay, so let me write this. We already know delta G is equal to RT ln Kp. This is a already known equation. Delta G equal to RT ln Kp. So I can write this minus delta G can also be if the minus term goes here, delta G equal to minus RT ln Kp. Okay, so if I bring this temperature here, then delta G by T is equal to minus R ln Kp. Okay, so if I differentiate this equation with respect to, partially differentiate this equation with respect to temperature, so then I can write dou of delta G, okay, by T by dou T, partial differentiation with respect to temperature. Then this equation becomes minus R is a constant taken out, ln Kp becomes equal to d of ln Kp by dt. I make it a complete differentiation. Okay, the other side. So this equation, let me keep this as such. Okay, and we know a very popular equation called the Gibbs-Helmholtz equation. Gibbs-Helmholtz equation. What is the Gibbs-Helmholtz equation says? It says that dou of delta G 0 divided by T by dou T is equal to minus delta H by minus delta H0 by T squared. This is called a Gibbs-Helmholtz equation. Gibbs-Helmholtz equation. So you can relate these two equations where both the left hand side of the equations are the same. Okay, so I can equate this equation minus r d ln kp divided by dt is equal to minus delta h0 by t square. So minus and minus can be cancelled. Okay. So d ln kp by dt is equal to minus delta h0 by t square. So this equation is known as 1/2, very popular equation called 1/2 equation. Okay. So I hope you have understood the terms. You can also refer the physical chemistry by Puri and Sharma, okay, for the same derivation. Okay, so I know there's a problem at last, so you may not be able to clearly see this writings because of the ink. You can please refer Puri and Sharma for this derivation. Okay, so with this we complete. If you have any questions, you can put it in the comment box. Thank you.